Hello everyone. Today we'll be going through IGCSE physics and the topic is distance time graphs and the main topic is describing motions. This will be covering syllabuses of Cambridge, Edexcel, Kuwait and Oxford. Keep in mind describing motion is the topic which is covered in four videos which is available which all four videos are available in the playlist and showing information distance time graph. First of all, we can understand how we are showing information in a distance time graph. Distance always we are taking on y-axis being dependent variable, and independent variable we are taking time on x-axis. And we can see this one 9 and 10 11, so intervals are 1 hour intervals, and on the y-axis we are taking 0, 10, 20, so scale is taken. Now if the graph is like this, steeper graph, this one is the gradient of this. In case of distance time graph will be giving us the speed, and we can see this one is more steeper as compared to the previous this graph. So this is, we can say this is faster. It represents faster motion, and stationary horizontal line will be representing um, the state of rest. Then negative motion will be downward, which is negative gradient, returning to the starting point, and flat represents stopped, right? So this is how we can understand things from a distance time graph. So keep in mind, in distance time graph, slope of the graph is giving us the speed. Distance is a scalar quantity and speed is also a scalar quantity. Distance time graph shows how distance changes over time. Their slopes help us see whether an object is still moving steadily or changing speed. Further, we can understand distance time graph shows how distance changes with time. Distance on the y-axis and time always in x-axis. It can be in all hours or minutes or seconds, whatever, according to the situation. Time on x-axis, and the distance on y-axis. Straight line means steady motion. Shape of the graph tells the story of the movement. So it's moving or not moving, and moving, then it's moving with a higher speed or lesser speed, or comparatively it's slow moving and it's moving towards the starting point. So used to compare different journeys also. So a distance time graph helps us to visualize how far an object travels over time. By looking at the slope of the shape, we can understand the entire journey in a single glance. So by looking at the graph, we can understand what was the duration. For example, D to E is at rest, B to C is also showing the stoppage of the object, A to B is like steady motion, and C to D is steeper, and E to F is moving back to the initial position. Then interpreting a horizontal line in a distance time graph. Horizontal line means that the distance is not changing with the passage of time. So horizontal line means no movement. So distance stays the same and time continues to pass. So object is stationary, common in rest periods of journeys. So, a flat horizontal line shows that the object is not moving even though time is still passing. So, this tells us there is a pause or stop in the journey. In so many questions in exam, they will be giving you a portion of the graph which is having horizontal line, and keep in mind, in distance time graph only, in the object straight line is representing, horizontal line is representing rest. So further we can discuss constant speed. State slope line means constant speed. So means constant speed. So steeper line means faster speed. Gentle slope means slower speed, and distance increases steadily. Speed can be calculated from slope also. So, in case of distance time graph. In case of velocity time graph, we need to understand this as well, that constant acceleration in case of velocity time graph, if line is straight line, and if it is curving like this one, it will be increasing acceleration, and this will be the constant speed, and this will be representing constant deceleration. Deceleration mean like slowing down of the object. So a straight line diagonal line represents the motion at steady speed. The steeper the line, the faster the object is moving. We can discuss the change in speed of the graph, and curved line shows changing speed, which we discussed earlier also in the previous graph. Getting faster is this blue line, and this one is fast steady speed, green line, and steady speed initial portion is steady speed, which is a red graph, this one. And then stationary horizontal line, we discussed earlier also that stationary will be horizontal line and returning to the starting point and reaching to the times axis. So time is on always on x-axis, distance is on y-axis. Upward curve means speeding up. Downward curves means is slowing down, and slope is not constant. So motion is non-uniform. So if slope is not constant, then motion is not uniform. Curved lines show acceleration or deceleration, meaning the speed is not steady. The curve helps us see how the object speed changes throughout the journey. So next graph, this one is how we are dealing with the problems. There are a lot of word problems. They are giving situations which we need to analyze, and we need to calculate the speed also. So speed, if distance time graph is given, which is in this case distance time graph is given, time is in seconds and distance in meters. So we will take speed is equal to y over x, so distance over time. So we will be checking the slope of this we can calculate by making the triangle, and change in y over change in x. For example, for this portion we can get the change in y is this one and change in x is this one. So y over x will give us speed. So keep in mind, while solving these type of problems, we'll have to use this formula, which is basically slope of the graph is representing the speed, and rise over run, which is a gradient formula if you have done in mathematics. So gradient means rise over run, that is here we are using. Choose two clear points, and then you will have to use the units also. Units must match for the different values. So steeper slope shows higher speed, and to find speed from a distance time graph, calculate the slope by dividing the change in distance by change in time. This simple method allows you to compare speeds for different parts of the graph. When one very important thing which you need to keep in mind in exam, if they are asking you to calculate the gradient or find the speed in case of distance time graph, you will have to use more than half of the line. For example, line is given this much, so you cannot use this point and this point. You will have to use a bigger triangle. You will have to make a triangle, bigger triangle like this one. At least half of the line given you will have to use, then only you will be getting credit and your marks will be full in that case. So we are done with this. Again, describing motion is covered in 4 videos which are available in the playlist. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.